Okay. Goodness, trying to get all this set up is driving me nuts. Okay. Okay, now it's working. Okay, so I was asked about doing some tutorials, and yesterday was a little different because it was like I was asked, but I was asked like 3 different people for pretty much the same style. I have 2 of them that I will be doing, but this one is going to be the first one because it's pretty quick and it'll give me a moment to really see how all of this works on here for the live. So I do have the chat pulled up, but I may not be answering a lot of questions if I can't see them while I'm working on something. So bear with me. But this one is a updo style, and I have a couple different things that I'll be doing on this one. So I'm gonna walk y'all through it too. And the hair that I'm using on this one is the model glance one because it was the only one that was as close in color that it came out looking nice. So I did grab that, but the texture was not the texture that I really needed. So I'm going to show y'all how to change the texture of the hair too if it has more of the yucky feel. They call it the natural look, but it's really not as natural. So you see how you see the ripples in the hair? I don't really like that because once you end up using this person's hair and you end up straightening it out, it's not going to look like this. So you can use a blow dryer, and I use mine on high heat because my medium do not stretch it as much. So you would want to put a comb attachment on there. Did I get on there? Yeah. You could put a comb attachment on there, and then you'll be able to go ahead and comb it through, and it'll change the texture on it. So I'm going to do that real quick. And you don't need a whole lot, but so now you can see it gives it more of that shinier look, and you can keep going if you really want it a whole lot straighter. But the brand I usually use for this style, it already comes pretty much relaxed out. It's not so rippled. And you'll want at least 5 of these for this style because you want to end up having about It's gonna be about 10 twists altogether once you end up doing it. Okay, so you will be parting this off as if it is a jumbo knotless style, and I'm going to be doing triangle parts on this one. So I'm just going to go ahead and section it off. If you guys have any issues with seeing anything, let me know too in the chat, so that way I can move the lighting. I'm going to stretch her just a tad bit more so I can get some of these out of there. Anytime you're getting ready to stretch hair, always wet the hair first. I do the same thing even for my mannequins. I treat my mannequins just like they are my clients. So you can use water or you can use a hydration spray. What I am using now is my hydration spray, and you just want to wet it and then go ahead and blow dry it out. You can have your heat protectant if you're going to be doing a whole lot of heat like this one is, because I am wetting it a lot more because her crinkles have been sitting for a little while. So, but since it's my mannequin, I'm not about to use my heat protectant, but you guys can. That's pretty good. You don't want to do it where it's like super duper straight, but you still want to have it where it's elongated, so that way when you're doing your twist, it's not super tight curls in there too. Her front curls are a lot tighter, so I'm brushing those out so that way it don't get caught in my comb attachment. For those that had joined in, we are doing a 2-strand twist updo. It was requested yesterday by 3 different people for the exact same style, and I had it on there, but it was like a sped up version and they couldn't really see what I was doing. And it'll be a while before I'm actually able to edit the video to get everything up, so I'm just doing it live so you guys can see what it is. Pull the cord out. What would be a good technique with silk press on thick hair? If you were doing a silk press on thick hair, you want to make sure that you are stretching the hair wet. And if the person's hair is like super thick where it dries out before you get to the other side, use a plastic cap so that way the hair stays moist as possible while you are doing your blowout. If you let the hair get too dry before you get ready to blow it out, it's not going to be able to have that volume. It's going to be stiff. Like, you want it to actually still flow, still be pretty and silky. It's gonna look real dry if you don't have enough water in the hair before you blow dry it. For a person that has like super thick hair, just take your time, do sections, use a plastic cap to keep that moisture in. So now that we got her stretched out a little better, I can go ahead and section it off. Okay, so the first one, if you're doing a jumbo, you want to get the back section of the head first, which is the top of the ear, going all the way around to the other top of the hair. That will give you your nape section. Now, parts on a mannequin, I don't be super precise because every mannequin head has a different density. So when you guys are getting them, some of them, the hairs, like how close they are together, will be super tight, and it will have you parting all day long to get a really nice part. So I've learned to just move with it, not care too much, and just make sure I'm doing the parts to what I need for the style, so that way I can practice it. So double check to make sure it's at least straight and level. We're going to be doing triangle parts on this one. So for your back, you got to decide on if you want that middle to have the base closer to the neck, or if you want the closer to the neck ones in the back. So if you want them in the middle or on the back sides. Typically people like it where this one that's in the back is up and it's not down here, because you have like this little piece that will pull in the middle of your neck. So if you're going to part this way, and then take your other one over here on this side. The other one that was requested for the tutorial was a flat twist style. So that one I'll be doing soon. What date? I don't know yet. I haven't scheduled it. But I'll be doing that one next too, because I know I already have some videos that are scheduled and it'll be a little bit before these get out. So this to help them so that way they can at least get taking those clients that they want to take and know what they're doing. All right, so you're going to be doing the 2-strand rope twist. And remember, don't let it lay down here at the back. You want to smooth your hair so it goes to the middle of it. So I am taking my jam and I am smoothing all of this to the middle section. Make sure you do not slick it down. So when I start the twist, I want it to be here in the middle where it's like this. That way it's not down here and it's pulling on their nape hairs. So make sure you bring it up. And each one of your bundles of hair, you're going to take this one piece of hair and then you're going to separate it into 2. You want them to stay pretty thick. You don't want them to be really skinny. I usually just take that one bundle and then I separate it into 2. Now I did not prep any hair, so y'all gonna have to deal with me untwisting each one of these when I get ready to use it. This was last minute, like I said, they just asked, but I don't know when they're taking that client, so I'm trying to get it out as soon as possible. So take this one and then you're going to separate it into 2 even ones. Just feel it if it feels like this one is too thick. So I'm adding a little more onto this side. And I pretty much just feel. This feels pretty even. Pull it apart. And then you have your one. And then the other one is going to be your other twist. Now when I do my twist, I just separate into 2. I'm going to turn this mannequin head so that way you guys can see a little better. And I'm going to move this up. Hopefully that's clear because it doesn't look clear on this side. But you just have 2 even sides. And then you're going to take the hair directly in the middle and you're going to lay it with the 2 pieces. Now, I like to hold one side and then I rotate this side and I just twist it. And I keep twisting. I twist until it's tight at the nape, but at the same time that it doesn't unravel when I go to the other side. Then I'm going to hold it there. Now it's tight over here and tight over there, and then I can twist the other side. Now you have both of them and they're both twisted on both sides. Now, thank you for letting me know it was clear. Now you're going to take both of them and you're going to twist each other onto the next. This is not supposed to be super tight on here because remember this is going to be an updo. We're going to be pulling them up. So you're going to take 2 twists, twist it to the other side. Take this one, twist, lay it over to this one to the other side. Take this one, twist, cross it over. Take it, twist, cross it over. And you're going to do the same thing going all the way down. Now, I don't like them super tight because, like I said, this is a updo. And once you pin them up and move them around, everything ends up flowing the way that you need it to. So don't be worried. So when you get down to the bottom, you're going to take one side is going to end up being, you know, having enough hair, then the other side is not. I take whichever one has that little piece that's like sticking out like how this one is, and I pull it out. Once I pull it out, then I can take this one, grab my finger,
go around the twist and push this piece through the middle of that hoop that you just made. And it's like you're making a knot. You can do another one if you need another piece of hair, and just do that. Some people also braid the very tip because these are not going to be seen. You're going to tuck these away and they're not going to be seen at all. So you can also take these little three pieces, the little pieces at the end, make yourself 3 and braid them to the tip. All right, now that one is staying. Now move this around a bit if you have to, but we are going to lift it. And then you see how now it lays smooth. There's no pulling on the back of her neck, and it just pulls up. Now you're gonna do all of them like this, the exact same way. If you guys have any questions while I am twisting these other ones, I am going to be looking at the chat and answering questions. Also, if the person's head is smaller, split these into 3. Do how we separated and we just did 2 equal sides. Split them into 3 if they have a small head, because once this lays up, a person that has a more round face, this is going to be cute with the thickness. But if their head is smaller, it's going to look too big on their head. So keep that in mind when you're doing the style on how thick that twist needs to be. And this style itself, it takes me about an hour. Yeah, I'll be in and out in about an hour. It's a really quick style. I ended up coming up with it one day for somebody for a wedding, because she really wanted something that was elegant, but at the same time something that was easy to take down, and it was quick. She doesn't really like sitting in the chair too long, so that's how this one ended up coming about. And twists are pretty quick, and especially if you got some big jumbo ones. When you do your top twist, the only difference that's going to change is how tight you twist them, because you want them to be a lot more loose, so that way you can actually play around with the bobby pins and move them how you want to for your updo. And I'm just getting some more hair together. Also, if the person's hair doesn't just go into it like these do, you can take that person's hair how it is, take a little bit of jam, put it on your fingertips, and slick that person's hair down. That way it makes more of a cylinder look, so that way you can actually take this hair and wrap it around the hair. Grab it and then twist, finish wrapping that hair around. Now it's going to hide it in the middle of that twist. See?
For the people that came in, if you guys have any questions, go ahead and ask them in the chat. I am taking a peek at the chat so that way I can answer any questions. All right, let me move this back again, just a little bit. All right, so now we're about to do our second row. Since these are jumbo, you really only have two. You have this row on the back and you have this one on the top. Your 4 at the very top is going to end up being, well, usually it's either 3 to 4 depending on how big the person's head is. So if you need this top section, always use the part of the eyebrow where it goes up and then goes down. You're going to use that peak so that way you can get the area that you want to start your horseshoe. So use that area to start it off so you know, okay, I'm going to be going there. And then you're going to take that piece and part straight back. And now you have your side there. And I'm about to do the other thing to the other side. Some mannequin heads do have a cheat spot there for where the horseshoe is at. Don't use the cheat spot. Go ahead and actually take your time so you can learn, because when you're doing people heads, you ain't gonna have no line in the middle of no plastic head for you to see. So make sure you're learning it the right way so that way you can do it no matter what size head that you have. And then you're connecting those two and you just make a curve in the back. I do have another video on here that shows how to get another way for getting the horseshoe if that is confusing. When I do the edit, I'll link that on there. So right now you're just going around looking to see if you need to make any changes, if anything is too high or too wide. So you can also check this way by going down. You look to see, okay, do you like that part size compared to the one back here? They look pretty even. So that would be a good one to do there. And then you could check this middle part too. Take a look. Now this seems a little wide compared to what was over here. So in order to fix that, you just bring the line back a little more. All right, now that looks better. So you do the same thing to check your side over here. This side is a little too thin, so I am moving to make sure that it has the same thickness. Alrighty. And just even it out a bit. All right, so now to get your next layer for your triangle part, you always have to start from the one that is on the bottom so that way you can actually see what where your points are at for your triangles. So I'm gonna move this again so that way you guys can see. So we have a point here. You're gonna do this triangle in the opposite direction up here. So we're gonna flip it. That's what we're doing. So you're gonna take this from the point and then you're gonna take your comb, follow it up, pull it over. You're gonna take this point over here too, go up, and that's how you would get your first set to start your next row. You're gonna use that bottom row so that way you can get the top one going. And I'm gonna move this back over so that way I can clean it up. Having the camera in the way is kind of weird. But, so I am just cleaning this up so that way I can get a cleaner part. And just clip it off to the side, come over here, clean it up, follow it all the way to the top. And that looks good. I like to go through when I am on the row to finish parting it off
for when I'm doing triangles, because you don't want to get too far and then your triangles are too wide and now you can't go backwards. So, well, you can, but that's a lot of work. That's too much. All right, so I'm gonna show y'all this one on the other side. All right, so we got that one over there. Now I'm gonna take this here, and from that point, now I'm gonna go over here to the side. Usually it's going to come to this point over here. So you're gonna connect that point to that one. Now, over here, when you're dealing with triangles, what made a difference was this point, this one that came over here, I brought it over more. This one, I didn't. So it leaves this front one to have this super wide part. We don't want that. So this was a case where if I would have went ahead and kept going, I would have been upset because I would have had to take down these two just to fix this front. So I'm going to take this one and I'm going to come over some more with it. Okay, now that looks better. That's not too wide, too big. We are able to even it out now where everybody got a decent size. And that also matters too with your braiding hair, because if you was to end up using the same size braiding hair as you use back here, you want to make sure that you have the right amount of twist or the right amount of natural hair to do your twist, because then they're going to look different. Now, this one right here is going to be covered. This one, you don't want it to be as big as your other ones. This gives the volume for the back of the head for this updo. This one, since it's going to be covered, if you make it too wide, it's going to have a hump at the top of her updo where it's not, it's going to look weird. You don't want it to be like this big, super huge mound. You want it to still sit at a decent level on the top of their head. So this one, so you see how this one from back here, it has to come all the way up here, but we only got this much left. If we take this one and do the same thick one right here, it's going to be all of this hair right here. So we don't want that much of this area. So we're going to do this twist smaller. Nobody's going to see this one because it's going to get covered up. Getting me some more hair together. I really should have thought this out a little bit more. I was just like, I need to record it. And I also felt like doing a live today. And the girl, because I knew she needed the instructions for this style soon. I think it's just because it's nice out. Everybody's doing weddings and things this time of year too. So it's a really quick, nice updo that you can get done really quick, and you can service a lot of people, especially if you're doing like a wedding party. You can get a lot of them done in an hour. So instead of doing the whole piece like I did before, I'm going to take this one and then I'm going to separate this one in two. So that's going to be the size that I'm doing for that one. And since now we're going to have a thicker piece of braiding hair, well, a thicker piece of natural hair to my braiding hair, it's more important for you to tuck this in the middle of it so that way that hair is not sticking out. So grab your jam and then smooth that piece out so that way you can cover it. And now you're going to bring that around to cover that up. There you go. Now it's in there. And I'm going to do the other things with the other side too. Now y'all can see like the drastics, like how big this one is, how small this one is. That would have been really huge sitting at the top of somebody's head. Move this back. There we go. These lives are like a little delayed. It's not bad. If you guys have any questions, drop them in the chat. And we're not doing the small all the way around on this row, only on this middle one, and we're going to end up doing this top one that's right there too. If you guys have any hair that's sticking out, don't forget to cover it because it's not going to look cute later. It's not going to change. Go back and cover it. I'm going to have to look and see if there's any other super quick styles, kind of like how this one is, that I can do on live again. Because this is pretty, it's pretty decent. This one is starting to move a little bit. I didn't braid it good enough. I don't know how people do them 3 and 4 hour lives. That's a whole lot. You want to use a heat resistant spray. There's sprays. The question was, what's good to use on a silk press for a humid day? One, make sure the silk press is done properly. If it's done where the blowout is nice, everything is good, that's the starting point to it. Actually, the wash. It starts at the bowl for a silk press. If the person just washes the hair any kind of way, don't use the right products for your wash, you already screwed to begin with, because that different products react differently and their products that are for silk presses are going to already include different HRM products, which is heat resistant products, to keep you from sweating it out. So you want to use those when you're getting ready to wash your hair. And then your blowout, make sure your blowout is silky, make sure it looks pretty good before you get ready to go through and do your press. And a lot of people focus on the press at the end, but that's already too late. The only thing you can do at that point is use a heat resistant spray, and it's basically well, it's a humidity resistant spray, and that's going to help you keep the straightness even when it's humid. Mazzani has one that works really good. You're welcome. Now, don't be worried when y'all looking at the twists and y'all feel like it's not going to turn out right. It's all about the way that you style it when you start pinning them up. And remember to always move your hair towards the middle of your triangle. And I think I have possibly done this once without triangle parts, and I didn't like it. It was not cute. Um, it just looked really plain. I feel like the triangle parts really help this style look as pretty as it does, and the accessories too, depending on what it's done for. So since this one is being done for like a updo where it's like a wedding look, it's better. It's better with the triangle parts. I got a piece that came out. Okay, when you have times like this where you didn't snag the piece and it came out, don't cut it. Just redo it. I saw one person that did a style and they literally either one of the girls left it there and another one. I hope that it was family member because she cut it. Don't cut nobody hair. Okay, look like we got about 4 more twists, and then we're ready to start pinning this style up. Now, on these front ones, when you're doing someone's hair, not a mannequin, don't forget to lay your hairs how you want them to be laid on the front before you do that front twist. Some people will leave them out, do this, and then take the tips and just slide the tips into those for how they're doing the baby hairs. But you can do it where if the person's hair is long and they don't have those short baby hairs, just swoop it and swoop the other one. And then when you get ready to do your twist, just make sure you kind of glide your finger there like that, and it'll keep everything looking nice. But that's important to keep in mind before you get ready to do that one. Now, instead of using jam, if your person's hair is really, really dry, that becomes an issue if you are applying jam on there and then covering it. You can use moisturizing cream, the puddings, things like that to lay it on there, and it's still gonna, put it all together. But you are now helping their hair with a moisturizer while it's under this braiding hair. Moisturizing is more important than looking cute, because once they take the style down, their hair is going to be falling out if it's too dry. So if the person's hair is severely dry, always think about hydrating the hair over using jams and gels and things like that. Now you'll still want to use that around the base though, so that way it's slick. But those pieces that you hide in the ends, because the ends of the hair is the oldest portion of the hair, so that part is going to need more hydration than the rest of it. So just give it a little extra care. All right, so we have just our horseshoe left. Now, when you are doing, let me make sure this is in there, that way you guys can see it. Okay, so for this part for the horseshoe, now you can take from the corner that's there, go to the very front, take the one that's here, go to the very front. Now, before you say this one is good to go, you want to go to the front of the head. Make sure that that piece that you pointed at is at that person's nose. The nose shows you the very middle of the head. So you want to go there, lay it down, make sure it's in the middle. And this is what I meant by the mannequin heads be having hair however they want to, because that's not straight at all. But you get my gist. Yeah, we tried. Okay. Now, you can clean this up from that point and just make your angles better. Now, since this is a mannequin head, their surface area is not as good as a person. So this may not give you the entire look like the one that's in that photo. So what I would do in this case is give this a point. So I would go straight from here to the middle of here, right there at the middle part of the head. And then make this even on both sides. Some stuff you have to actually think about before you finish it. It's called envisioning the style. You want to actually envision, how is this going to look on this person's head once it's done? She's going to look better if I could have it where she doesn't have skinny pieces here, where it's full. So I'm going to move it back some so I can get a point there. So now I'm going to take from that point and create my triangle back here. When I do triangle styles, I like for all of my points to meet. I don't like triangle styles where your triangles are everywhere over the head, but there's no points that meet at all. So now those are going to be our last three. The points are meeting here, there's a point here, and then we have the two that are going to be in the front. Now your two that are in the front, same thing with slicking the sides, because this is going to be a updo and you kind of want to create that look that it's going like that. You want to make sure you swoop those very front twos. So now this one, we want to treat the same as this one. We want to use less hair because this is where all of this hair is coming up to. So we don't need a whole lot of hair here. Otherwise, it's going to make that top part super huge. And we want it to still have a nice look to the person's head. So we don't want it that big. So I went through and separated that other one. I'm going to tilt this mannequin back a bit. All right, we are down to the last two. If anybody has any questions, go ahead and leave them in the chat. I had actually thought about doing all of the twist portion and then showing just the updo part, but I think you guys got a decent amount of tips and things actually doing all of it.
Hey, whoever that was that put the hand up there.
All right, I'm getting me some more hair together.
Thank you.
All right, so let's go ahead and twist up these last ones, and then we are ready to start styling it. That's the fun part.
Okay, out of the people that's on here, do y'all prefer updo styles or down? I'm trying to think of what other stuff I can record that's on here that don't take super long to do.
That's the only thing with braid styles. A lot of braid styles take time, and especially nowadays with the stitch braids, that just added extra time that it typically would take to get some braids done. So doing that live actually takes a while. Okay, so now once you guys are done with all of the twists, this would be the time that you want to go through and do all of the edges, the entire perimeter, do any slicking, any baby hairs, anything that you want to get done. Set it with either your foam or your spritz, and then you're going to take a rapid, which is one of the little black wraps. I'm not gonna do hers because she don't really need it. But you're going to go ahead and set the perimeter so that way once you get done doing the updo, it'll be laid how you want it to, and then she can just sit under the dryer for a couple minutes until that part dries out. But that would be your next step. So since we are bringing everything up here, we are going to start with this twist that is up here. So you just wrap it around it. This one, we just turning it into a quick little bun. Nothing cute, just wrap it around. You don't want to put a pin here because of the fact it may stick in there. So if you feel like your piece was not long enough to wrap around to secure, you can use a rubber band on that one or stitch it. Use needle and thread. Now you're going to take your next one, because this is the next part that adds onto that middle. You're going to pull it up and do the same thing. This is making the base for your updo, so that way it has something firm to connect to for all of the other twists. So now we got that one. That is fine. You can go through, stitch this one if needed. If you feel like it's moving too much, this, I had a decent amount for the tip, so it's not really moving like that. Now you're going to start pulling your twist up. This is why we didn't want it super tight here. If you need to move anything, you should have enough slack here to move. It shouldn't be too tight. Now you're going to pull it up. And then you're going to start making pin curl type look like this. Can you see that? Let me move this over here. There we go. Okay, so you're going to pull it up and then you're going to kind of turn it that way it lays. This piece, I like to take them and I fold it in half, and then I take the tip and I wrap it around this little piece. And it kind of makes like a little circle knot. That way the tip isn't sticking out. And then I can take this and tuck it underneath. And then I would secure it with bobby pins. Now this is why you don't want your twists too tight, because if you make them too tight, you can't get this look. It just doesn't, it won't do this if your twists are too tight. This way you can move them around how you need to. And there go one. Now this one, the same thing. I typically like moving them where they go in the middle. See that? It's going to lay directly in the middle of that one. And then I would do another pin curl. Let me tie off the tip of this one. Take this underneath and then pin it. Now don't be too much of a stickler on how you want your pins to look just yet, because you're going to end up moving them. I like working on the back first, so that way I can get a more secure look. I start wrapping the front, because the front, you really want it to look a certain way. Before it's done, let's go ahead and now this looks better when the hair has a silkier look to it. So if you have someone that has more of a coarse texture hair and you still want it to have some texture but some silky, kind of like how I did this one because there were mixed textures used, make sure that you're doing the braiding hair with the blowout type look, so that way you can get a better result when it's done. Now, because this is going up, I didn't want to put it up here because it just looks weird with a line going up. Take it, fold it down, and pin it, so that way you got access to all of this to move it around to make it look better. Use the hair, pull it out some, so that way you can get it to move, and then pin. go ahead and get this one up there. When you guys are placing bobby pins, always ask the client, how does that feel? If any bobby pins are sticking them while you're actually putting them in. Because if you wait until you're done, you don't know which bobby pin it is that is bothering them. So when you're working with bobby pins, always ask them to say something as you are placing in the pins. I use bobby pins to help me get the style set, and then I like to go through and stitch it. Hey, that's actually cute by its without doing. What y'all think? I don't know, that was cute. Have like a little down part and then that's something to try for next time. But for this one, so this front one, it's important to figure out how you want it to go. Do you like it where it pulls up this way more? Because then you would have to crisscross these two. Or do you like where it goes this way and it gives a little slack here? Because then you could pull it this way. So move them, see what looks better before you secure it down. And I need to see. I like it going this way more. I like that look more, and then I'm going to use this to cover that hump there. All right, so now, and so let's go ahead and tuck this piece off first. Okay, so we're gonna take this and we're gonna move it forward. So I took this one, I bent it over, and then I'm gonna lay it here. Take this piece, I'm gonna hide it underneath there and lay it. And then I'm gonna pin there. That looks better than the hump from the twist. I like that, but I don't like that part. Okay, so these are those times where as you're doing it, just take a piece down. I still like that piece, so I'm going to take that part off, but I'm going to put this underneath here. And it got caught by a bobby pin. Yeah, okay. Bear with me for a second because I'm gonna fix this piece. And got caught by a bobby pin under there. The good thing about that is twist, it's not gonna take a whole lot to fix. Alright, so now I can add that piece to there, and then I can finish pinning that one. Now, some people are going to like a higher hump instead of it being low. Some people are going to like it lower. So that's another time for you to be asking questions as you are doing it and be like, hey, you know, hand them the mirror if they're not in front of a mirror and ask them, do they like the height? Or do they want it higher or lower? So that way you can start either flattening or rising the style. If you need to rise a style, you would take a piece of hair, make you another twist, put it in that middle to keep making it higher. So since we knew already from the other side that we like this one going up first, so we're going to go ahead and do that now. All right, and then we're going to do the same thing with this front one. I like twisting it kind of that way. All right, then we're going to bring it forward. Let's tighten up this bottom. If it looks like this piece, like here, this feels a little too tight, so I'm going to untwist a tad and then lay it. Now it moves and it lays down a lot better. At first it was kind of tight, so if you gotta rotate the opposite way so that way you get it to lay how you want it, do that. And now we're gonna go through and secure the last of these pins. This is really cute with accessories. I couldn't find the pearl bobby pins, but when I do the finished pictures, I'm gonna order some so that way I can get the pictures on there for when I edit this video. But I thought those would look really cute because I did them on someone else for a wedding style and they were really cute, but we didn't have them at our beauty supply store. All right, so now once you have pretty much the bulk of how you want the style to sit, then you're going to go through with needle and thread. That needle and thread is going to help you pull this in more where it looks more like a bun. And always you can move these around. So if you wanted to have more of a wider look here, if you want this piece to come over more this way, same for this one, you just pin them how you want it. So this would look I need to put one back here before I put the one in the front. Okay, so now the part that makes it where you have a different look from them just being regular twists is when you take your bobby pins and you go to different sections of the hair. You don't pull the entire twist, you pull a piece of it and you pull it down. That's going to make it lay and it's going to give you a different look. It kind of makes it look like it kind of went this way, but it's really just one twist. And it's just all about how you place your pins. And go around your style. Make sure there's no pieces. I am not going to be stitching this down with the needle and thread, so that's why I am going through and taking in any pieces that I feel need to be a little tighter. This also looks cute with the they're like little combs that have pearls on them too. and you can take one, place them in different pieces of the hair to have it have that accent, or do the little pearls singled by themselves along the front and on the side. And it's another one too that this looks really good on, but I can't think of the name of them. All right. Okay, so this, if you don't like that piece sitting, you can pull it back, but I like it. And yeah, you can put you some little pearls in different spots, style it up a little bit more. You can also use curly pieces. You can take little curly pieces, have those in there. You can use a crochet hook to add them. Um, the only one I have is a two color, but you get the point. So you see that? That would be beautiful. I'm gonna add a piece in there. So you take your crochet hook, go down in there, pull it out, add that in there, close it up, and then pull it through. And then you'll take this piece, put it under your different pieces and pin them, or use your crochet hook and put it through different parts of the hair. And you pretty much just kind of weave it until you don't see any tips anymore. Tuck it under there. But I like that. That's cute. She cute, y'all. That is pretty much it. Oh, I wish I had the stones. I can't wait till I post this one now. So when I get ready to post it, I'm going to do finished pictures and have the pearls and things in, so that way you guys can see how it looks when it's fully done. But that's it. Yes, I can. Was that good? No problem. Yeah, this came out really nice. I like this. But somebody was asking about it and needed to know how to do it because they had a client coming that needed this style. So I hope this helped. And if any of you guys that are on here have any styles that you want to know how to do, send it either on Facebook or Instagram. I will get them there, because these messages that we're doing on here don't show up right away once I get off of here. So send them on Facebook or on Instagram. The links are in the description for this one, for any other styles and things that you guys want to know how to do. And we'll do a live kind of like this one, because this was pretty neat. As long as it is not a 2 hour, 3 hour style, I got you. All right, I'm about to get off of here. Do anybody have any last questions before I get off? If not, it was nice talking to you all. All right, bye-bye.